The Prenup is sponsored by Channel 4. Channel 4 lets you watch and stream live TV.
You looked at me, you started crying, and then you say, I've just shat myself.
You actually can't leave me because you've seen too much.
If Dua Lipa is taking Callum Turner's name, then she's now going to be called Dua Turner. Are you going to do a Turner tonight? It was Uzi and I had to sleep on a puppy pad.
A puppy pad?
They wanted us to function on tea, scones and red wine.
That combination feels a bit lethal as well.
I would have lips his nan. I would have been lit. Okay, we are starting off episode 2 with a bang. I can't believe we're about to do this.
I know, I'm a bit scared, if I'm honest.
I'm not scared, because but I'm scared that you're going to have an argument with me.
Yeah, so just remember what this episode's about. Today's episode is all about trust. We're going to swap phones and we have free reign to post whatever we want on each other's Insta stories.
Could be an immediate regret.
We have to keep it on our stories until we do the reality check later on in the episode. I'm scared.
All right, pass me your phone then.
I'm scared.
Just remember, like I told you, nothing that's going to get me cancelled.
Remember the ep is about trust.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I can do that one.
3, 2, 1, post.
Post.
Done. No turning back.
I'm Ollie Rainford.
I'm Tyler West, and this is where nothing is left off the table before saying I do.
Exactly. And if you didn't guess from the name of the podcast, we are engaged.
Yeah.
Getting married is hard, but staying married is even harder, which is why we've got the prenup.
Yeah, exactly. Every week we'll sort of dive into whatever's been popping off in the pop culture world, seeing what's blowing up in the algorithm. We'll do our own research, bring that to the table to see how we feel about it, how it's going to affect our relationship, come up with a clause live on the prenup, and it's going to go on this beautiful board behind us.
If it's written, it shall be done. And we've already got our first clause up.
Reinvention. Okay, we promise to support each other through one experimental fashion phase, even if it gives us the ick. So if you're just looking on right now and you haven't seen episode 1, go back and have a little watch. You got a double bubble then, innit?
Yeah, Ty went super hippie.
Yeah, but I'm Moonbeam. Bro, you went full on like black makeup galore.
I've become so numb, I could feel you there.
You had like black makeup on your lips.
That's exactly what I did.
That was crazy.
You're not ever going to be into
You
that.
look like Vecna.
Who?
You know Vecna, Stranger Things. Oh, you ain't seen Stranger Things?
No, I haven't.
See what I'm dealing with? But either way, that's up there, right? So that is our first prenup clause on reinvention. I thought about going blonde, dyeing my hair blonde.
Do you know what? Post the episode, Ty made some AI photos of him with blonde hair.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of here for it. Slightly concerned about the situation.
Yeah, we did come to the conclusion that it may just be like hitting the undo button on my hair transplant if I was to dye my hair blonde. So then it's actually backfired and it was pointless me sitting there looking like a whale for a few weeks because that was painful as hell. That was painful. Anybody that goes out there and gets a hair transplant and goes, oh no, ain't that bad. You know when people are taking pictures of people coming back from like Turkey and things like that with bandages around their head?
You didn't look that bad.
When you had to peel the bandage off my head.
That was an experience.
That was like 24 hours in A&E.
Like I
East
like
London.
a bit of, Dr. Pimple Popper. I don't mind a little bit of, satisfying spot situations. No. But that was rough.
It was Uzi and I had to sleep on a puppy pad.
A puppy pad?
It was a puppy, you had to put a puppy pad across the pillow so it didn't seep into the mattress.
Oh, no.
And I had to sleep upright for 2 weeks. That is dead.
That was hard for you. Not
doing that.
No.
Not doing that.
No.
So we've sacked off the blonde thing. We've gone past that. That was a phase. That was a moment. That was episode 1.
Yeah.
So, reinvention. You can go back and watch that if you haven't already. Now, each week, we're going to see what's popping off in the algorithm. We'll put it to the test with a little bit of research. We'll say that loosely.
Yes.
All right. Our version of research.
Yeah.
And basically see how it will affect our future relationship.
And then we will write it on the prenup and add it to our board behind us.
Yeah. So it'll be an official clause that we have to stick to. So you're basically along for this journey with us, okay?
Yeah. So far, you haven't exercised the fact that you'll be okay with that yet. But that's okay.
Well, but you need to do a mad fashion or like reinvention
I
thing.
did talk about the bob situation after last episode.
Yeah, but you haven't gone and got a bob. You're talking to me about a bob, but you ain't gone and got the bob.
Oh, okay.
This prenup ain't really working to start out with, I'll be honest with you. All right, we need to put it to the test for real,
Yes,
for real.
we do.
But I've seen this week, this is what been a bit obsessed with it as well, because it relates back to when we first got engaged. Dua Lipa and Callum Turner have had their London wedding.
So cute.
I say London wedding, like just their UK wedding, because obviously, depending on where you get married, I don't know if many people know this, we've only just found that out as well when we looked into wedding venues abroad. You can only get married as long, you can only do like the legal stuff here. So they've done Marylebone Town Hall, and then Sicily for a 3-day wedding where it's like this mega man lineup and guest list, like Elton John, Charlie XCX, loads of people are going to be showing face.
It does sound really good.
But expectations versus reality. You saw the pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Can we talk about their outfits though? Because that dress is like a custom made.
Yeah.
It's called Schiaparelli. It's basically like big time designer vibes.
Right, got one.
Yes.
When have you ever gone to meet time looking into Schiaparelli dresses?
Well, never, because no one has the funds for that.
Oh, is it deep?
It's deep. It's like getting like a custom Louis Vuitton.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to do. She also is that the fat fedora that she had
Yeah.
on as well. The absolute saucer on her head that made it look like Jupiter. Like it was Is Jupiter the one with the circles around it?
No.
What's
Saturn?
Saturn. She had a Saturn head top as she came out.
Head top.
Yeah, but it looked good. She looked good. Don't get me wrong. They looked really
thought
sweet.
it looked like very classic, very like almost like 50s vibes.
But do you know what? How I know why they've got too much money?
Why?
Because they've absolutely fast-tracked the hell out of this. If you remember when we got engaged, they also got engaged.
Oh, yeah.
They got engaged. And then that's when you looked at your ring and looked at their ring and thought, you know what, there is a thing of having too much of a big engagement ring.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You said, yeah, but there is a thing about
Did
it
I
being
say
too
that?
big.
Did I say
Yeah. So that's why, I want to, Dua Lipa and Callum Turner, they're in their own bag.
No, there are definite couple goals for me. 100%.
But that Marylebone Town Hall, right? So I don't know if you've ever been past it. Every single time you go past it, it's busy.
It's busy.
Like, it's busy as hell.
Look, that place gets booked up.
So just imagine, and I thought about this, imagine you were there on that morning and you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting married at like 2:00. Who's in the 1:00 slot? And then all of a sudden Dua Lipa and Callum Turner walk out and you're like, oh great, well that stole my thunder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, that's a killer, really. Absolute vibe killer.
It's like a Spoons on a Friday night when the World Cup's on. It's 1 in, 1 out to Marylebone Town Hall. And Dua Lipa and Callum Turner have taken up the whole space.
They have. And they did it so well.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, like most people that get married town hall in London vibes, where do you go after?
Also, it's just a bit sweaty. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a bit dirty. Like, if you're to walk out of a wedding in, like, your, what's it, Schiaparelli?
Yes.
Schiaparelli dress,
right.
To what? Chewing gum and street?
But no, what I'm talking about is, for example, you're dressed up. This is your legal wedding. Remember, they're going away to Italy to do another wedding, which is another, big payout.
We looked into Italy. Very expensive. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Long. And like, I love the idea of getting married abroad, but the idea of having to pay for 2 weddings, one's bad enough, right?
Yeah.
Now you've got to think, I've paid out for the town hall. Now I need to take everyone for a meal. You're not just going to go home after that, are you?
Yeah, no, you at least do like a little Nando's or something.
Yeah, well, exactly.
For Callum Turner and Dua Lipa are not going to Nando's.
I feel like they're the type of couple that would do it.
Yeah, just say fuck it.
I'd back it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Would you want a whole chicken? What if I got a whole chicken for after our legal ceremony? A red reward, yeah. A little red reward, redeem some points at Nando's for our wedding meal. Gang.
No, but the problem is everywhere that you go will slap a few extra zeros on because it's a wedding party.
Yeah, why wedding people? Why does that happen as well? Every single time you say the W word, all of a sudden it goes times 10. It's like a multiplier. Like
you could hire out a private dining room in like, I don't know, any type of restaurant, and it might be all right. The minute you say it's a wedding, slap another 2 on that.
Zeros on the end. It's like, right, this is a rose, but this is a wedding rose. They're both exactly the same, but this one's £17,000 and your house. It's like, it's not the same.
And a mortgage.
It's literally that. You're taking out installments on flowers. What world are we living in?
No, but I was thinking the only way that you could get around that would be if you had your wedding on Halloween, because then you could be like, oh, we're just bantering. Like, it's just a costume.
Yeah, fair.
And then no one needs to know it was real, but you.
All right, sick. Wedding date then, Halloween.
Come on.
Yeah?
Nice.
Run that up.
Love that. Love when we can agree on something.
They look like they had a nice wedding. The one thing I was thinking about, and obviously I think we will probably cross this in a future episode, and this is quite funny, if Dua Lipa is taking Callum Turner's name, then she's now going to be called Dua Turner.
I like that. What does that mean?
But it sounds like you've messed up on a night out. Like, oh, what? Do a Turner.
Do a Turner.
Are you going to do a Turner tonight?
You're going to do a Turner.
You're going to do a
It sounds
Turner.
a bit like an Irish exit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a Turner tonight.
I'm going to do a Turner.
That's quite fun.
Yeah.
Do a Lipa Turner.
Aye. Do a Turner.
Do
Yeah.
What does it mean? We'll never know.
No fucking clue.
It can mean whatever you want.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
But what I did want to ask you was, what would you say is the best wedding you've been to?
Best wedding is probably Amir's.
Dr. Amir. Yeah.
Dr. Amir. Yeah.
That was good. That was our first wedding as a couple that we went to, I think.
Yeah. Dr. Amir's wedding was one of the best we've ever been to. It was amazing. It was so personal. Lorraine Kelly
Dressed
married
as the Pope.
him and his husband. Like it was lit.
It was incredible. And it was very it was Indian fusion. We had a nice Indian curry as the main meal. Everyone was full. We did drink that. What's the drink? The milky one that's meant to counteract with the spiciness of the curry. But
Coconut.
we just...
Is it like
It's
coconut?
coconutty, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit kefir-y.
Yeah.
But it was so nice that we both backed it before the curry arrived and then realised what it was actually for.
Good for your gut health.
It is. But it was also good
Not the
for
day
the...
after. I can't lie. I had the shits for 2 days. I really did. Just because I don't handle well with spice. That's the honest truth. I don't. You know I don't.
Fair.
Whenever we jump into a curry, it's mad. Love it in the moment.
Oh,
Poppadoms
it's
the day
beautiful.
after.
I
crazy.
loved it. Then we also had, great Indian fusion vibes with the Bhangra band.
Bhangra and Bruno Mars. There's a link up. Went off, innit?
It did.
I remember it now.
It makes me want to have Indian family so we could just throw an Indian wedding.
Be pretty wrong if we did it without.
Yeah, I mean,
just
yeah.
do that, okay.
I'm still waiting on my brother's wedding.
No. Oh, I'd say the worst wedding I ever went to,
Go
right?
on.
If I rewind, there was one of my old friends, he's not around no more,
Okay.
got invited to his sort of family wedding. I was stuck on a table with all of the elderly people, which I don't mind.
Stuck?
Great chat. Well, no, but I say stuck.
Interesting word.
Because I don't think I didn't have a name tag. I think I was kind of a last minute addition to the wedding. They were like, "Oh, would love you to come down." I'm like, "Big man, it's this weekend. I should have got the invite 6 months ago."
Yeah, fair.
I'm filling a spot here.
Fair.
All right, so I'm a seat filler at this wedding with the elderly people, and then they bring out. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm starving now." By this point, it's like one of the first weddings I've ever been to, and then they bring out the main meal. Best believe, and this is no word of a lie, it came out these really posh china plates, that were all stacked on top of each other, and on them was scones, whatever you want to call it.
A scone as a main meal.
That's the main meal. I promise you, I have never in my life ordered a KFC to a wedding until that point.
Did you actually?
I had to leave and go and get chicken because it was that's what they wanted. They wanted us to function on tea, scones, and red wine.
Ooh, that combination feels a bit lethal as well.
I would have lipped his nan. I would have been lit. I would have been so lit if I didn't go out and get some food.
Yeah, that's not enough to line your stomach
It's
at
not.
all.
It's actually not. So that's the key thing. We'll get onto that as well. Because me and you, we're big foodies. So we need to...
Massive. That's going to be a very high up on the list for our wedding.
Yeah, we have to have a good menu. No doubt Dua Lipa will have a good menu if she's going over to Sicily. Right?
Imagine
Loads
pasta,
of that
the
pasta.
tiramisu.
Yeah. Say the P word around Molly and she starts
The
shaking.
P word.
Yeah, you love it.
I love it.
Absolutely love a bit of pasta.
I love it.
But one thing I've got to say about Dua Lipa, she's come a long way because, so her album, Radical Optimism, was all about this journey of her learning to trust again after a failed relationship.
Yeah, and
Obviously it's worked.
clearly. I think they're just really sweet. I don't know them personally.
Yeah, you're saying it as if they're pals and you're going to get an invitation.
I'm hoping for one.
What, you're hoping for one or hoping for one for us?
I'm hoping I'll have a plus one.
Here's a question. If you got the invitation, would you go to Dua Lipa and Callum Turner's wedding without me? If she sent over an invitation and said, "Hey guys, Molly would love you to come," would you ask for a plus one or would you go on your ones?
For
What? There's no plus ones available. Just you. Would you go?
For research purposes, yes.
Research what? We're not going to be able to afford anything of what they're buying.
I know, but
You don't know no one there.
inspo
Fine.
might be able to find
So
some
it's
bits
like,
on Etsy.
like window shopping, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Absolutely. But then it might be too much because then I might just not have any budget left by the time I come back.
Yeah, also, if you're a guest at Dua Lipa and Callum Turner's wedding and you're having to pay for stuff, that's a bit... I don't know if I'd agree to that. They're minted.
They
Come
are
on.
minted, but...
I'm expecting goodie bags.
Yeah, but who's expecting to be paid for?
Well, no one. Well, if it's Dua Lipa and Callum Turner, absolutely.
Really?
Like, you can't be flexing. You're getting private jets and doing multiple weddings, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, can you give me £20 deposit for the cloakroom?" Like I'm
Fair.
not doing that. I don't know
No,
where
you're-
you would ever need to pay £20 deposit for the cloakroom.
Apparently at their wedding.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that like her sort of way that she learned how to trust again, following off the back of her relationship, clearly worked for her because now she's getting married, right? So I'm thinking part of our prenup, we got to put our trust levels to the test.
Absolutely.
Let's just kick it off, right? We're gonna put our trust levels to the test with a quick game, an honest Mr. and Mrs. So you see, usually you'd hold up like paddles and everybody will be like, "Oh my God, no, you got the question wrong."
Nice.
No, we're doing it face to face and saying it with our chest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a list here of some Mr. and Mrs. questions. This is how we're gonna make our trust bulletproof in this prenup.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Right. Who would you trust most in these scenarios? To break up a fight?
Tyler.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Back to it. Come on.
To decorate a house?
Molly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To choose the best outfit for a themed party?
Molly. Come on.
Yeah.
Gassed. Right. To remember your anniversary?
Molly.
Sick.
Can we spice these up a bit? All right.
Go.
To get the best Christmas gift for your mum? Molly.
Tyler. Interesting.
I'm not a good gift buyer.
Yeah, oh, you bought my mum a lovely gift. Do you remember? Clearly not.
Sorry, Sarah. No, what was the one?
Really wholesome. Basically, my mum's mum passed away, my nan, and for the Christmas, Ty bought her a really like sweet candle holder with like a nice little like angel and like mum figure. It was really cute. I didn't know he was buying it, so that's what made me think of that.
Man. Yeah, I love him. So that's it. All right. To tidy the flat before your family comes round. Tyler.
Molly.
You're lying. Oh my gosh. Right, okay. What's the next one? Say the next one.
To pack your suitcase for a holiday. Molly. Perfect.
To make a budget and stick to it.
Tyler.
To keep
a secret.
Both of us, to be fair. We're good at keeping
Yeah.
secrets with
I
each
wouldn't
other.
know who to pick for that.
Well, I'm very good at keeping secrets. Anything
Yes,
you
I
tell me,
know.
I won't ever tell anybody. I won't ever tell anybody. Why are you looking at me like that?
You wouldn't not tell Christian.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. It
Christian's one of his
there's
best friends, by the
There's
way.
levels to this. Like, you can't just all of a sudden just chuck secrets out there.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah, willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
To break...
Oh my God, I speak.
You can't talk today.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Right, what was the one
Let's
that triggered me?
unpack.
Hold on. Because you said, what was it? To decorate a house. Absolutely. Like, you are lead passenger. You go
I am.
into your whole, interior designer bag. Which
Yeah, I
can't
put
be
that
bothered
to
with.
action with our flat. Quite proud of that.
But I think I've done quite well in here
Yes.
with all my posters on the wall in the prenup studio.
No, I do appreciate it.
Okay, great. To tidy the flat before the family comes around. I tidy the flat.
No.
I'm like Cinderella. Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm literally like the person that's cleaning on the floors, like I'm scrubbing.
And
Do you
I
know what I
appreciate
mean?
that, so am I.
Yeah. Before family comes around, I'm always tidying.
No, I was finding that one hard
Yeah?
to go for, even though I answered quite rapidly.
Yeah.
I do feel as though you are very good at tidying, but you're a visual tidier, whereas I think I'm more of the cleaner, like properly pulling out all the cupboards, get in there, make sure.
You can't reach the top shelf, so that's how I know it's
Well,
not
that's
true.
why I've got my own stepladder.
Yeah.
Personalised.
But it's not. Let's not act like it's a step ladder that goes up like 11 foot. It's like a little, like one step.
Yeah.
How? And now I'm up like 30 centimetres.
That's enough.
Okay, fine. To break up a fight, can I just put a disclaimer out there? Because I said it with so much vim and energy.
Yes, you did.
I say to break up a fight, depending on who.
Fine.
Like, let's not go out onto the streets now thinking, oh, my man's is going to protect me. And then all of a sudden, my man's like some 7-foot demigod.
Right. Because they exist.
Well, yeah, but just imagine like that. Like, you're not going to put me into a situation like that. I will try my hardest.
I'd rather avoid at all costs. You are the one who sometimes is like,
I step in a lot.
You do step in, and I just think, no, let's go.
It is a bit of a red flag.
Let's get out of here, bruv.
Like, that's one of my things. Like, I'm a protector. And like, if I see an argument going on, rather than just walking past or being nosy, I will literally be like the first to step in.
Yes, and maybe I'm controversial, but I feel like you don't know these people.
It's none of my business.
None of your business. Let's keep it stepping.
But if the guy was like 7 foot tall,
you're absolutely.
I would be keeping it stepping. I would be backing out of that one. Kind of. If anybody like goes into any sort of karate stance or judo stance, or tell you what, if they got cauliflower ears, I ain't fucking with them. I ain't touching them. I ain't got no way. If anybody that goes into a fight and you look at their face and they're like, they don't care what they look like coming out of this, I ain't fighting. Like, I'm not. You take what you want.
Do you know what this reminds me of? You know, in The Office, where Dwight and Michael go into the dojo.
Yeah.
They just start scrapping.
I just got, because it's true that they'll come through like head first, like not even fighting.
Anyone whose first move in a fight is a headbutt.
Yeah, crazy.
Cancel.
That's like you got 2 brain cells left and you're using one on a headbutt. That is crazy work. I'm not doing it. I tried to do it as a kid. Not headbutt. I tried to do it. I tried to only do karate.
Fine.
As a kid.
Nice.
But I icked myself out. It just didn't suit me.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all about learning like ich, ni, sung, chi and stuff like that. Yeah, I've got it on lock there. It is, no, I promise you.
Come on.
I promise you. And I got like a second yellow sticker on my white belt. It's like the second, like, it's basically an introductory level.
Is it the one after the white?
Yeah. But I just couldn't, it just wasn't me. You know, I felt like I'm more of a, you know, Muhammad Ali fighter,
boxer.
If I'm going to be anything, like boxer, Anthony Joshua, like up there.
But do you remember when we were going for our boxing sessions?
We don't need to talk about it right
our
now.
coach, Darren,
Yeah.
he did say I had the edge.
Do you know what was mad about that? So I've gone, hey Mo, so listen, there's a boxing gym down the road that's just opened. The guy said, like, we can come down for a couple of like introduction sessions and he can like just show us the ropes and that. And you're like, yeah, Ty, sounds good. It'll be good to do a bit of couples fitness. We go in there and I've never actually boxed in my life. So I'm now getting into it. He's teaching me the techniques and stuff like that. And it comes to Molly's time.
I love all the disclaimers before.
Molly's time to jump on the bag. And all I hear is, oos, like that. Oos, oos, like this. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, what on earth in the Mayweather is going on here? Where has this technique come from? Why have you got such a hard punch?
It's breath work.
What do you mean breath work?
The oos.
The like you were ducking and diving, doing hooks and combinations.
I
and
enjoy that.
I'm there like just trying to learn how to not break my wrist.
Yeah, fair. No, I'm competitive. What can I say?
Yeah.
Just get into it, don't I?
Very much are. I only ever actually, just another disclaimer, I only ever had one fight when I was younger. Obviously one. Jake tripped me up when in the playground when I was going
Government
down.
name.
Don't care, mate. Run it up.
Oh.
Yeah. He tripped me up when I was going down the playground stairs.
Okay.
I got up, wallop. Got sent to the wall. Straight away.
Sent to the wall.
Sent to the wall. And then everybody was like, ooh, touched on the wall. And I was like, don't worry, don't worry
Well,
like that.
as you know, I don't like confrontation.
Yeah, but you can back it.
I can back it, right? But the only time I've never fought before. The only thing that I got into at school was one time I was really I'm getting deep this episode. I was getting quite bullied by this girl. And my mum's the opposite to me. My mum is super like, yeah, well, if they hit you, you got to hit them back. Like, she's very old school. And I was like, yeah, she just keeps being mean to me at school. Yeah. She goes, all right, well, you go in there and you tell her. So then when I went to school, I went, excuse me, really polite, excuse me, why are you such a bitch? And I was like, oh. don't know what came over me.
Like, I'm having a bit of a moment here. That was exciting.
But you know what? Never happened again.
Right, fine.
Moral of the story, don't go out calling people bitches.
Yeah, you kind of took it too far there.
Yeah, but the moral of the story
Why are you
was...
such an ugly, stupid little bitch? You know what I mean? Just start going in.
In a Kevin Hart, long skinny, no nip, you know, jokes. But moral of the story was you have to back yourself.
Yes, that is the moral of the story. That's where we got to.
Yeah.
Went round the houses, but we got there. So I think we're on the similar pages.
Yeah, we are.
Right, with the Mr. and Mrs. So
yeah, I trust you.
Yeah, I trust you. So
Love
far.
that. It's time for a bit of a break, thanks to our sponsors, Channel 4. We're both busy people and we've got a lot going on, especially with wedding planning on top of everything else.
So that time at the end of the day when we get to just sit down, pop the TV on and relax, that's super important.
Yeah, it would be more relaxing if you didn't always argue on what we should watch though.
But I don't argue, you do. Anyway, it should be simple tonight. I know we're both going to want to watch Celeb Gogglebox. Yeah, think about it. Getting invited into the living rooms of some of our favourite celebs, right? To see their unfiltered, hilarious and heartfelt reactions to the week's biggest and best TV moments.
Listen, Celeb Gogglebox is great, but we're going to be watching Light in the Hall. It's the second series and I can't wait to get back into it. It's a drama all about a woman trying to unearth the truth about the death of her daughter, who disappeared 18 years earlier.
I mean, that does sound good, but we're going to watch Celebrity Gogglebox, right? And I'll tell you why. With a little bit of help from Channel 4. I've come up with a game to help us decide who's getting the remote tonight. And at least you'll be able to get to do a bit of investigation before we don't watch your show, because we've got a stack of pictures of the stars of Channel 4 shows here. The catch is they've been edited and we just have to figure out who's in each one. Hit us.
Person number 1.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Ba-bow! Yeah? I do well.
Love Claudia.
Claudia.
Love Claudia.
Easy.
I hope it's who I think it is.
If it's not him and I've gone in with this much vim and confidence, I'm fuming, by the way. 3, 2, 1. Jamie Oliver.
Yeah.
Is it actually Jamie Oliver? Yes, great.
Hey!
Come on. Next.
Oh, I don't know his last name, but...
What do you mean you don't know his last name as well? Don't act like you know who that is.
I
That is
do
a very
know who
blurred
that is.
photo.
3, 2, 1.
X. Whatever you put Papa.
His name's Papa something.
Is his name Papa?
Yeah, Papa Sadie.
I knew it, Papa Sadie.
Okay, so then you get half a point then.
Half a point?
That's got to be half a point. That can't be a full point. Let's like read the
I'll
rules
take
here.
it. I'm still beating you.
Listen, I made the game with Channel 4. You didn't make the game with Channel 4.
Yes. Don't look at my
I
board.
didn't
Don't
look at
cheat.
your board.
2, 1.
Oh, it was Nicola. It was Nicola. Is that Nicola Coughlan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fuming, mate. This is where Ty storms into the lead.
Who is that?
Don't worry about it.
You're not in the lead.
I will be.
I'm half a point up.
I absolutely will be.
I've got nothing to
3,
say.
2,
I'm a bit annoyed at
1. Can you hold up your board, please? You didn't even bother to write anything down. How disrespectful.
that. I don't want to get it wrong.
Simon Pegg.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Final one.
I'm on 3 and you're on
3 and a half.
3.5.
Obviously, the half is really important. I really hope I didn't put too much faith in me.
I don't know.
Ready?
Do you know what? I'd rather you just. Well, you've won by default.
3,
Anyway. Go on. I
2,
haven't got it. I haven't got
1.
it. It's too blurred. Stephen Graham. Is it Stephen Graham? Shut up. Is it Stephen Graham?
Of course it is.
You spelled it wrong. Minus half a point and 2.5 for that. It's Stephen with a PH, not Stephen.
Fine. Sorry,
It's
Steve.
Stephen. Like in the hall it is then, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Great.
You already know. You can watch Celeb Gogglebox and Light in the Hall and so much more. Stream now on Channel 4.
Right, break's over. Back to the show. Now, that might all be about to change though, because as you saw earlier, we did swap phones.
Ooh, I
and
forgot about
post
that.
Whatever we wanted to post on the other person's story. I reckon you've taken it too far. I reckon because I can see this look in your eye whenever you're like, oh, he's about to find out. I feel like you've taken it too far, and I think I was actually really kind.
Do you think so?
I think I was really kind.
Oh, no.
Got a choice in life, Miles, didn't you? Got to make them.
Let's swap back then and review.
Okay. You want to go first? Should we take it in turns?
I'll go
Right, go on,
first.
you run it
I'll
up.
go first.
That's not rough.
That's
That's not rough. That's not rough. No, you can't say it's rough. Babe, that's us in our rawest form. But the thing is, I think it boys me more than it does you.
this is really rough. For a start,
Yeah.
you're definitely in the mix of transplant. Hair transplant.
Hair transplant. Can we put that out there? Like, yeah.
Right, so I'm wearing Christmas pajamas and my face, I kid you not, is grey.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's grey.
Because we was hungover.
Right. And I've got like a smoothie in hand. Then he's put the caption, "Love is blind." When you know, you know. And then you've put, "Ask me anything." But the funny thing is,
What's the question?
the funny thing is,
What's
someone
that?
said, "Any babies in the plans?" No.
You don't look at that photo and go, cool, can't wait for them to have kids. You think,
You don't think, "Oh, these kids are going to be
nah,
beautiful."
You look at that photo and you go, contraception.
Someone else has said, "Any go-to websites for holiday outfits?"
Nice. Nice.
Look, I love it. It's got a few likes though.
Yeah, great.
I had a feeling this was going to be a rough photo.
I could have gone worse.
You
I
could
could have
have.
gone worse.
And that's entirely my point.
Mm-hmm.
It could be worse, and you didn't push it.
No.
For that, I appreciate you, and I would trust you to do it again.
Sick. So I'll take it up a level.
Yes, I will be deleting some photos before you do it again.
Okay.
But other than that, I do trust you. No, that was funny. I appreciate that one.
Okay. We're still friends?
Yes.
Sweet.
The chin in that photo from me, though, rough. I almost need the beard to cover it up.
Your chin didn't look great.
Terrible.
I'm going to dive into this one, all right?
Great.
I have no idea what you've put up.
Great. Silence. You're not happy?
Do you know how... Right. Okay. Okay, so first of all, if I would have liked this photo myself, I would have uploaded it in a previous scenario, like in a previous photo done. I don't like this photo.
Oh, sorry. I thought you looked great.
Hence why it's up. But then, right, so it's a photo of me walking up the stairs into them.
Mm-hmm. Skin out.
Skin out. Skin up the boom boom. Literally, yeah, just skin out. I look like, you know Latrell from White Chicks? Temu version, right? Not the right one. I didn't like the photo. But anyway, you've put...
I thought you looked really cute.
Well, that's really sweet that you thought that.
Yeah, and I thought
And that was maybe a thought between us.
the body was looking right and tight.
It was looking right and tight after the... remember those bao buns that we was having? Was it the bao buns? It was the bao buns on holiday. They were great. You can
In
see 'em.
Tulum. Not quite the right place for it, but banging.
We love the culture. And it says, what you saying out if 10? What?
I meant to put out of 10, but I spelled it wrong.
Great. See, what you saying out of 10 as the question box, and you put a vote, 7 or under, 8 or over. Do you know
But I
what?
didn't want to be too specific because I wanted to, like, obviously people to opt for the upper.
Right. Now, who's voted 7 or under?
I bet it's one of your mates.
Nah.
No.
Finn, you fucking snake.
I don't think you were looking your best.
Bro, what the fuck? You're going like, oh yeah, can't wait to be producing you guys today and all this shit. And then all of a sudden it's like, nah, clapped, mate. That is, you know what I mean? That's insane. All
Thanks,
right, fine. Do you know what?
Appreciate it.
It could have been worse. There was a ton of photos and videos that if you'd have put them up, I would have been getting phone calls about. There's some of my phone that should never be seen by the world.
Yes.
So, I appreciate you. I do. In total.
In total.
Overall. The overall grand scheme of things, I feel like I can trust you to post whatever on my story. I feel like you got my back.
I do have your back.
Because you thought about that in a good mindset.
Yeah, I did. And evidently, it paid off because everyone says you're an 8 or more out of 10. You're welcome.
Just here. to
Just
be my
confirming
cheerleader.
something I already knew.
There is another way that we can test our trust.
And build trust.
Yes. Appreciation ping pong. Now,
Right.
this could be really sweet.
It will be.
It's very, very simple. So this is an exercise that we found that we basically just go back and forth, giving each other compliments of just mentioning things that we like about each other. You do a rally until you run out of things to say, right?
Nice.
So we have to see how long we can keep it going without running out of things to say. That helps apparently build trust with your partner in long-term relationships.
Okay, look me in my eyes.
Okay, but I've got to be thinking so that I can look wherever I
Okay,
it's,
well, like,
it's not
just
like
when-
a blinking competition.
When you take the compliment, just like, eye contact
Okay,
to build the trust.
okay.
Okay. Tyler, I think you're a really thoughtful person.
Thank you. Molly, I think that you light up every room you go into.
Oh, thank you.
This could either be like really sweet or really fucking icky, I swear to God, to
Yeah.
watch. Like,
It's a fine line.
there's a fine line.
Thank you, Ty. I think you have really nice eyes.
I think that you got a lovely smile.
That's my next one.
Okay, can we do something other than...
Yes. I think you're really motivated and it inspires me to be more motivated.
You know what's really sweet about you? Every single time you love hard.
Thank you. What's really sweet about you is when you laugh, it's so infectious, you make everyone else laugh around you.
Nice. When you walk into a room, everybody goes, Rob, where did you get that outfit from? You got a great taste in style.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I'm out with you, people go, oh, you've been gymming because you've got a lot of good discipline and you've really built your muscles recently and it looks lovely.
That was like...
That was the shit.
Do you know what that sounded like? That sounded like, when you're writing an essay and you need to fulfill the word count. And you're like, yeah, do you know what I love about you? Is that like when you walk into the room on a summer's day and then you all of a sudden, people say to me like, oh yeah, that guy over there, he's really looking in good shape because you're disciplined in the gym and you do nice exercise. It's great.
No, but...
That was a ChatGPT filler.
No, I was trying my best to match your answer and it didn't quite come out the way I wanted to. That's me, yeah.
You're my best friend.
And you're mine.
Gang.
Gang.
So I feel like we've done a lot of trust work there.
Yes, we have.
And I feel like I'm happy with this going into our prenup clause.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's one of the pillars of every relationship.
Yeah. Without trust,
There
what
is
there?
nothing.
There's nothing.
So how
There we go.
about our clauses? We promise to
Today, Junior.
I don't know what happened there. I glitched.
Go on. Today.
So how about our prenup clause is we promise to trust each other with our hearts, our souls, and even our social media.
Pal.
Pow.
Let's write it up.
That's right
Let's
up.
get it on there. But can you use my pencil?
Right. Okay. I don't know why I've done everything in capital letters apart from the R.
What, on the trust? That's
It was an artistic choice.
It's now for the part of the show where we throw over to you, lovely listeners, all right? When you know, you know. Now, if you want to get involved with this, go on to our socials at prenup.pod, or you can email us, theprenup@bowermedia.co.uk. We threw out there the question for you to give us some examples of when you knew they were the one. It could be a best mate that did you a solid. It could be your partner that put up with your morning breath. Either way.
I want to kick off with my own one.
Of what, when you know I was the one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's still not going to be anyone else, is
I
it?
thought you was about to tell me a previous story and I'll be like, right, well, that's messed up.
No, me and Ty did a show called Race Across the World, if you haven't
Oh.
seen it.
Yeah.
It's a travel show and it's also a race against 4 other couples. We went
Pairs. They weren't all couples.
pairs.
Mum and son. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean it like that. A minimal budget, no phones, etc., etc. We were in Mexico through to Colombia, and about midway, I think we were in El Salvador. I got a lovely case that a lot of travellers will have experienced of what I like to call D&V. And I kid you not, so we get to the checkpoint. Don't know, I can't remember how well we did on that one.
Yeah, well, we got there anyway.
We got there.
survived
We were at the checkpoint, and woke up. I don't know who we thought we were. We got up, did a workout, had some breakfast.
It was so unnecessary.
It was quite unnecessary. And our breakfast came and I went to eat the breakfast and I just couldn't eat. I was like, Ty, I don't feel right. I feel a bit dodgy right now. And then, I kid you not, maybe 10 minutes later, everything thrown up. Like everything that was in my stomach came out.
Just came out, and I think that's the worst thing when you're throwing up and you're not drunk.
Oh.
It's just like you're so aware of everything that's going on. I felt so sorry for you.
Yeah, it was rough. Like I haven't had that since, you know, when you were at school and you got, you know, the bug that was going around.
Dodgy sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, like I had not experienced it like that in a long, long time.
But then I'm sat there on the sofa,
Mm-hmm.
and then you walk back into the room, and then you go. I'm sat there on the sofa. You're standing there, and then you go to me. You just start crying.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And you had just farted right in front of me.
Yes.
Standing in the middle of this living room, in just in your underwear, right, and a t-shirt. You didn't feel well. You've been throwing your guts up. You farted, and then you looked at me. You started crying, and then you say, "I've just shat myself." Right. So then I've gone, "It's okay. Like, don't worry about it." You've got tears streaming down your face.
Your reaction was the thing that made me know that you were the one. Because you didn't absolutely take the piss out of me and just laugh at me.
It's a funny memory to think back
and
to.
kick me while I was down.
No.
You absolutely saved me that moment because I burst into tears because I thought, this has never happened to me before. I hadn't quite reached the diarrhea part of the D&V.
No, that was still to come.
That was still to come.
Yeah,
that was rough. I don't know which end was worse.
You was topping and tailing out the same flush. That is mad.
That's
and
awful.
I'm holding your hair back. And the thing is, what you couldn't see is what was going on with me whilst you were being sick and shitting in the toilet. Yeah, because my head was out the door. Because if I see sick, I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. Like don't touch me with it. Like that's nasty. Yeah, but that was just like bile coming up, and you was in a bad way.
Oh, I was in such a bad way. But yeah, you reacted perfectly. You made me feel like I wasn't an absolute freak in that moment. And that's how I knew you were the one. And I also did think, well, you actually can't leave me because you've seen too much.
And I've smelt too much. Do you know what I mean? And
Cheers.
I've seen too much. Mm-hmm. But that's when you knew I was the one.
That's when I knew you were the one.
Nice.
When did you know I was the one?
Probably when I first met you, when we used to do the chats at the hotel at Strictly. That was genuinely when I knew.
Oh, that was so cute.
I bought the engagement ring 4 months into our relationship. Like, how does that not say like you're the one? Like, and I just sat on it and I held it for time. So
that's very cute.
I was there, man. You don't need to convince me. Right, these are so quite funny ones sent in at prenup.pod on Instagram. Right, so this is when you knew they were the one.
Okay.
So this one here says, she gave me a foot rub and my feet looked like Doberman paws. I'm talking actual bunions.
We played a game where you send the other person a song that reminds you of them and we sent each other the same song. Wholesome.
I threw up on a night out and we still snogged after. That is disgusting. That is rancid.
Okay, well, I might have brushed the teeth.
I cancelled a date because I was sick, so he drove to my house after work just to say hi and wave.
Oh.
Wet wipe.
Okay.
That's come on.
Different vibes.
I went travelling for 4 months. He wrote me a letter for every new country I went to.
That's a bit long.
Is that the same guy from before, like the one before?
When I farted and instead of being disgusted, she replied with a fart herself and we both just laughed.
Basking in the ambience. When I found myself watching him sleep, he looked so peaceful. That's a horror movie. That's a full-blown horror movie.
I disagree. I think that's quite wholesome.
You watch me when I sleep?
Yes.
That's weird.
Okay.
That's weird. Moles, come on, babe.
Not like...
You ain't seen a horror movie before.
I don't sit and stare
just
like,
you're right.
Tyler, lovely.
Yeah, that's...
I just like, oh, you look really nice. Like,
whilst I'm sleeping?
yeah, and then I'll, roll over and carry on.
I'm sleeping under the duvet now. That is crazy.
Wow.
I was driving and someone suddenly pulled out in front of me. We both yelled, "Are you fucking kidding me?" at the exact same time.
That's me.
All right.
We were both doing karaoke and Baby by Justin Bieber came on. We rapped Ludacris's verse in perfect unison.
Yeah, that's a sync-up moment.
Yeah, I
isn't it?
like
That's
that.
a karaoke moment.
like that.
That brings a lot of people
Maybe
together.
not that song choice, but I appreciate that.
No, we can do that. We
Okay.
can do that. She corrected me when I mispronounced the name of Gandalf's sword, Glamdring. I knew in that moment she was the one. Yeah, geeks are meant to be geeks together. 100%.
You'll find your people.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
Dungeons and
I haven't-
Dragons and
I
Lord
haven't
of the
quite
Rings
convinced
people.
you to start watching Indiana Jones and that yet.
No.
But
I
soon
have
come.
watched Indiana Jones, obviously.
Yeah?
I just don't know
Which
it word
one?
for word like you.
Which one did you watch?
The tomb one.
That's disrespectful.
Is it? I don't know the names. I just know I've seen it. All right.
Okay. Can I just say, right, so I threw up on a night out and we still snogged after. That should be an illegal offence in the UK. You're telling, if I've thrown up and then I haven't washed my mouth or brushed my teeth or anything
no
like
one
that,
said nothing about brushing teeth.
I threw up on a night out and we still snogged after. Key word there, still snogged after, as in like I've thrown up and then you're going to snog my mouth off. That is nasty. Nah, Miles, come on.
No,
That's
but if
like, you
teeth
see
are-
when a dog eats its own sick, that's basically that in a snog. That is disgusting. And then you're all of a sudden you're throwing up in each other's mouths together. This is just gross.
No, but
You know
no
what?
one's justified whether a teeth has been brushed.
Yeah, but they don't need to. It's just like, it's not there.
What, so you're saying if I threw up,
I am not snogging your mouth after.
if I threw up, I brushed my teeth, mouthwash, all of that,
Yeah.
you wouldn't kiss me after?
Yeah, after a certain amount of time.
Or what's
You
the
have
difference?
to let the mouth die down a little bit and cool
What's
off.
the
You know what I
difference
mean?
between 10 minutes after I brush my teeth and 4 hours? Isn't it not better to do it when I
It's a
freshly
bit like
brushed
a few-
teeth?
bit more of like recycled saliva's just gone through the system and
Fine.
brushed it out a little
And
bit.
like-
It's just something in my age. It's just a normal thing. If I
Okay.
see you being sick, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you're ill. I'll take care of you. Here's a lemonade." But I'm not gonna then go, "Come here,
Fair.
come here, babe."
No, I do get it. I get it.
This last one that I want to talk about, right?
Mm.
We were both doing karaoke and Baby by Justin Bieber came on. We rapped Ludacris's verse in perfect unison.
I like that.
What's our go-to karaoke song?
Karaoke
Realistically,
song.
when you knew they were the one, what would be our song to fulfill that?
Well, when we do karaoke together, you normally want me to do Never Too Much, Luther Vandross with
Yeah,
you.
I can't
But
do
then every time I carry you because you think you know the words and you don't.
That's a boy, man.
It's a fact.
I got asthma.
And
Have you ever tried the chorus of Luther Vandross? Never too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. And then it's like, I can't feel myself, I don't want... And then you think it's done, like dance break. No, next verse.
I'm not hearing a lot of breath be taken when you're justifying that you can't sing.
I can't breathe. I've got an asthma condition. I got
Don't make me feel
seasonal.
bad.
I got seasonal asthma.
Seasonal.
No, it comes with hay
That's
fever.
BS.
That isn't. I promise you that it comes with hay fever.
Seasonal.
Right.
It's hay fever, my guy.
Don't shame my asthma.
All right, I'm
It's-
not shaming your asthma. I'm just saying you've done a lot of talking to justify
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you've missed a few lyrics in that song. When I think the amount of time it took, you could have just sung it.
I just don't know the lyrics that well. Yet. No, I'm trying every
I'm
single
trying
time.
to think what other ones we know, like through and through.
It'll probably be like a Tiny Temper tune or something like that.
That's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be sick.
So for next week's When You Know You Know, it is when you knew you'd be friends for life.
Yeah. So this could be any relationship as well. It could be a pal that you met at work. It could be a story that where your best mate from school and you've been through the craziest stories together. It's like that moment that you knew that you were going to be friends for life and
Locked
this was
in.
forever. Yeah. Locked in.
Yeah. A bit like what I said with my shitting myself story. If that was me and a mate, then we have to be friends for life because you've seen too much.
All right, make sure you go and follow us on our socials at prenup.pod and also the prenup at bowermedia.co.uk is the email address where you can hit us up as we move on to episode 3.
Yes, please like, comment, subscribe, leave a review wherever you get your podcast.
Tell a friend to
and
tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
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 Bye, driver.
Bye, driver.
Thanks again to Channel 4 for sponsoring the show. Stream now on Channel 4.